Welcome. That's right, y'all. You know what it is, man. It's the boy K Rich, Mama's #1 draft pick. We are here. It is 4 p.m. and we are in the Anajar Levine Studios right here in Jacksonville, Florida. I don't know what it is, but the guys are ready to go, and I found them all. Shout out to Bobby G. Shout out to Alan. Uncle Scott is in the building. He has found the Wi-Fi code again, and we are on. That's right. We're bringing the internet to your radio. It's RecRoomSports Radio Show, guys, and there's so much going on. It's wild to say that I don't know where to start. I don't know where to begin.
Oh, I'll tell you where to begin.
What's that?
Right here.
Oh.
When the clock's my hero.
Happy birthday to you.
Who birthday it is?
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Birthday shouts out
it's my birthday. To me.
I know. That's why I was just waiting on you. Anyway, everybody, if y'all don't recognize, it's Bobby G's birthday. And on that note, we got to start the show.
This is Rec Room Sports. Olympians carrying the torch, going where they don't go. We ain't lost. From the optics to the topics, we got this with synopsis. Think outside the boxes like Jay on the mic or your boy K Witt. Joe is my coach, T Sweat on the mix. All sports, even if you catch fish like Nate Diaz catches fists. You need to catch this episode, it's a can't miss. We go live and you should subscribe and X's and O's. We made our plan, yo.
That's right. Ain't no half seven when it comes to Rec Room Radio, y'all. It's your boy K Rich, Mama's #1 draft pick. We are in the building, Anajar Levine Studios, right here in Jacksonville. Now, of course, I got the gang with me today. When I say the gang, I got all of them, except for my guy Jay. He's somewhere on the road, but don't worry, we're going to tell you where Jay is today. Big shout out to Uncle Scott Cope. Uncle Scott, you got the Wi-Fi password again?
Do I have the Wi-Fi?
You got the Wi-Fi password again?
Of course I do. It's called Wyndham Clark. That's my Wi-Fi password. Yeah, Wyndham Clark.
Fresh off a day from work, we heard he called out. I hope he's got a doctor's note. Big shouts out to Alan Perilous. Ladies and gentlemen. Alan, what we doing?
I wish I could be on the show full time where I wasn't sick or hurt. Like
you just be hurt and just be like, you know what?
That's all. As Scott would say, it's all that partying from celebrating a national championship. So.
I got you. Yeah, baseball national champion in the building. That's right. Big shouts out to Norman, Oklahoma. And, of course, can't forget my boy. Cleveland's own, but Las Vegas is home. Game Time 216, Audible Sports Podcast where life and sports meet culture. Can't forget the Thursday night fun thing that they do, of course. Bobby G is in the building. What's up, Bobby G? How you feeling? Happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You know, one year closer to it. Never mind that. We're gonna celebrate the day. And shout out to Wyndham Clark.
21, aren't you? Aren't you only 21, Bobby?
No. See, that's unattractive to the ladies. We go with 27. That's
27.
That's a good solid age right there.
You make good decisions at 27.
21, old enough for a young lady, young enough for an old lady.
Hey, listen, I get it. Once again, 21, horrible decision making. Horrible. I was all about it.
Well, back in 1963, when I was 21, I didn't make any horrible decisions.
Hey, guys, man, we got a great show planned for you, so I need you to go ahead and keep it locked. You know what we do right at the beginning of the show. We got to figure out what happened in them headlines, so we're going to play a game. That's right, y'all. What's the word? So somehow, some way, we've got a couple of things that slipped through the cracks, but we're going to make sure you are informed. So earlier this month, Serena returned to competitive action at the Queen's Club Championship, where she played doubles with Victoria Mbaku. Okay. I got that name correct. While that pairing ended early due to injuries sustained by Mbaku, it served as Serena's initial platform test for her movement and timing on grass as she prepares to play singles and doubles at Wimbledon. Coming back to singles after nearly 4 years, jumping straight into a Grand Slam. It's unprecedented. It's wild. It's crazy. But that is the heightened level of a champion to go in there with a little bit of ambition. Okay. Number one, Andy Roddick having highlighted that the requirements and the immense level of confidence that you have to have in his earlier words, it basically tells you the physical demand that the grass court of tennis will put on your body. And is Serena ready? Bobby G, I need to know.
Hold up, son. Word.
What's the word for this type of return for Serena Williams to Wimbledon?
In the words of the great American philosopher Martin Lawrence, you go, girl.
Okay. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I know it's 3 words, but it's going to be 1. Yeah, it's a bonnet.
We're ringing the bell.
Yeah. You go, girl. Now, if you feel you can still compete, you still got the bug. As long as you don't cheat the game, that's what it's all about. Do you?
For sure. I definitely get that. And, of course, somebody like Serena, hello, I'm going to let her do it, too. I'm going to let her go out there and compete. She could lose, win. I don't care. Bring Serena, bring Venus, bring everybody in the way. Bring the beads back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. Bring the beads back. Take it old school and win some competitive tennis. Uncle Scott Cole, when you think about Serena returning, what's the word you got?
It's groundbreaking. I mean, we've never seen this before. We've never seen a woman on top of the tennis world who fell off a little bit, took some time off, and then came back, after so long off. The tennis game is not like it used to be when Serena was on top of her game. It is a lot of younger. It's more athletic. It's more hard-hitting and more powerful. So I say it's groundbreaking for her to do this. So that'd be my word.
I got you. Alan, thank you for joining us again on the first end of the show. You got a word for Venus playing tennis after a 4-year layoff and being a mom?
Well, as somebody who grew up watching a majority of her entire career, awesome to see. I loved every minute of it. Again, like you said, didn't end the way she probably would have wanted it to, but it was awesome just to see her get to do her thing again.
Yeah, and we cannot wait. Of course, Wimbledon is on the way. She will be playing in doubles with her beloved sister. Of course, we love to see the Williams sisters joining each other once again in doubles competition. But we can't wait to get out there and dominate on that court because the game is built on power. I don't know if you've seen how that serve looks, but it's crazy.
You said Mboko got injured and went and they had to retire or whatever.
Yeah, they had to resign.
I don't think it was injured. I think Serena said, "Girl, I'm tired. Just go around. I need to get out."
That's it. Yeah, I'm good. That's what she said. I'm good. Moving on. You know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. The World Cup, FIFA, is taking the United States by storm. I am a witness to this as Brazil played yesterday, and everywhere I went, there were Brazil jerseys. I promise you, they were all over Jacksonville, and it went crazy. But what the word is all about Messi. That's right. Lionel Messi right now is the leading goal scorer for World Cup tournaments in general, all together. After he surpassed 17, currently is on 18, with the Argentinian team looking as though they could continue, he could possibly eclipse as much as 20, as we saw him do 2 the other day, and get close to getting a hat trick, which would be, of course, 3. I don't know nothing about these words, but I'm learning as I go along. So he surpassed Miroslav Klose with 6 goals. Of course, Miroslav is German. Messi has achieved what many has considered an unachievable individual international football record. His brace against Austria on the 22nd, of course, moved him right to 18 goals in 28 matches, establishing the new standard. For the remainder of the 2026 tournament, the focus shifts to how much further can he extend this record. As our eyes will be on Messi, gentlemen, I need to know one thing.
Hold up, son. Word.
What's the word for Messi being out here in the streets at 38 and still putting up 1 and 2 and 3 goals per game? Bobby G, what you got?
I mean, it's just greatness. Like we're the age. I mean, you think about it. We get to look at what Messi's doing. Look at what LeBron's doing. Look at what Mike Trout is still able to do. He's not as old as those guys, but still, like, it's not only is it fun to watch our favorite sports, but it's fun to watch our legends dominate our favorite sports. And we like to see them do it as long as they can, especially when you have the combination of them doing what they're doing and the youth movement, right? We got the new guys coming in. So it's good to see that mix. And you always want to see your legends at their peaks.
For sure. Hey, and of course, as our resident old head, Uncle Scott, as you see Messi eclipsing these gold records, man, how do you feel as you continue to hang with the younger guys and you always bring the funk?
Rockstar. I mean, he. When you think of soccer, you used to say Pele. In my day, back in the day, Beckham. Now, when you think of soccer, Messi's the first word that probably first name that jumps to your mind. So, rockstar.
All right, and of course, Alan, you are in the building. You are a bit of a soccer connoisseur yourself. When you think of Messi jumping out there, doing the things at 38, what's the word you got?
Generational. It's a generational talent. We will never see somebody like this for quite a while. Again, as Scott mentioned, somebody who took the soccer world by storm when he first arrived and has just been a staple, a standard bearer ever since, and continues to be that for many years to come.
And I got a word that I'm just going to make up. I'm going to say Tom Brady-ian, okay? If anybody could talk about this, it's got to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady, y'all know, stopped eating strawberries, hasn't seen a bowl of cereal in like 6 years. He did everything to go out there and leave what was originally his home in New England, get down to Tampa Bay, and complete the task, which was separating his name from Bill Belichick and going out there and doing what he does best and winning an NFL championship, the Super Bowl of all things, the pantheon, the antithesis of football here in America. But then to see Messi do similar, go to into Miami, you take the MLS world by storm, go crazy, and then make it to a World Cup classic here in the Americas, and pretty much have all eyes on him. It's got to be Tom Brady. I really can't think of another superstar besides LeBron, who is on a current path to shake Father Time out of their shoes. And if you're watching them games, man, he's not really running that fast. He's kind of trotting down the field. The team is built to go fast when he's ready to go fast. When he gets closer to that net, everybody going fast. And then all of a sudden, the game takes off. And I think that that's a cool thing. They know what he's going to do. They know what he's not going to do. And they put people around him that do the dirty work for him. So Tom Brady, great new word. Put it in the web. Brian, put that down.
It's also not fair. So it's not fair because these guys did it for the love of the game. We know what Tom Brady spent one day in that car, in that pickup line at school. It's like, nope, I'm going back to playing football. Get this.
Exactly. Tom Brady was watching film, was like, you know what, babe? I'll be back.
Giselle, home life's not for me. See you later. I'm going to Tampa. Bye.
Giselle tried to get him to watch The Notebook. Nope.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah, The Notebook definitely was it. And then, of course, guys, oh my God, the other day had to be National Tight End Day as we saw tight ends get paid. That's crazy to say, right? Tight ends getting paid. Anyway, out of nowhere, we saw the checks be cashed by one Kyle Pitts. That's right, 3 years, $54 million on the extension after an all-pro caliber 2025 campaign. The Falcons are signaling a complimentary commitment to continuity. They are locking up the first-round ban, keeping Pitts, Drake London, and eventually Bijan Robinson. The offense will be booming in the A. And then, hey, down here in Jacksonville, you know what it is? We got a little bread too. That's right. We paid Brendan Strange 3 years, $48 million. The Jaguars are building a specific culture around GM James Gladstone. Big shouts out to Big James. Extending your own drafted talent, especially guys like Strange, who have shown a clear and upward trajectory in the hallmark and healthy, sustainable roster. They've locked down a piece of their own system to be there for the near future. And you know, Trevor Lawrence loves a tight end. So, Uncle Scott, when you think of a word for these tight ends getting that money, I need to know. What's the words for these checks going to these tight ends, bro?
First of all, Whit, I'm glad you can open the checkbook for Brenton Strange. It was awful nice of you to give all that money to him.
You don't.
I don't really like to use the word, but I'd say it's overpaid a little bit because
Wow.
what has Pitts done other than that 3 or 4 game stretch where last year when London was out, he carried the team, and Brenton Strange again. There's so many weapons around in Jacksonville that I don't know if he lives up to the contract. He's a solid tight end, I get it, but is he going to live up to what the Jags paid him? I'm not sure. So I'd say overpaid.
We'll definitely have some time to check it and see, Bobby G, when you think of that word, what you got?
Get your bag, man. Bag. Just get your bag.
BAG,
Bag. Yeah. Bag. The NFL stands for not for long. I do agree with Scott. Like, Kyle Pitts has not lived up to the hype that he came into the league with in the draft. However, I think this is like the Falcons kind of setting a market. Like, you have a coach who loves to utilize tight ends in this offense. Yeah. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a breakout year this season, and I think next offseason this deal will look like a bargain.
All right. Next offseason going to look like a party. You know they like a party here in Jacksonville, especially after they get from those international games in the UK and we figure out what they're going to do with that building downtown. And then, of course, Alan, man, thanks for joining us that first hour. That tight end money, bro. What's the word?
I kind of disagree with Scott a little bit. I think it's a steal. I'm going to go with steal, especially for fantasy purposes, because I agree with Bobby. I think Kyle Pitts is going to have a breakout year this year. And one thing I've noticed as kind of a fantasy football novice, there are some weeks here and there where Brenton Strange has actually been one of the more productive tight ends in fantasy football. So
sure.
I actually think this is a little bit of a steal. And there are a lot of weapons in Jacksonville, but when you need a big play to happen the most, usually you go to the biggest guy on the field, which is your tight end. So that's usually what they're paid to do. Is they're there to be the security blanket. They're help to block the edge and things like that. So I think it was a steal.
Oh yeah, well when it comes to me, I got 2 words, but one whole phrase, and that's gonna be more money, more money, more money. Hey man, let that bag fly, man. If y'all catch Brenton Strange in the town center and he's having a steak, man, let him eat. Okay, let him enjoy. If y'all catch him out there having a nice cigar at Aromas, let him do that. He has earned it. That bag is there. If he's got a ViStar account, Chase account, Bank of America account, wherever that money is, let him come in, let him do that deposit. Let that check clear because it is good. And I think that he will put on for the city of Jacksonville. Last but not least, fellas, this one is a good one. And I want to see what everybody thinks real quick. The NFL season is 12 weeks away. Oh my God. And the first preseason game is in less than 6 weeks. What is the word for the anticipation of the upcoming NFL season?
What's the word?
Alan.
I'm hyped. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready for some football. It's been way too long for me, especially with me personally. All the news coming out of training camps from different NFL teams, how teams are getting better in certain positions, and we're starting to hear the rumblings of maybe this team going to be better at this spot, or maybe this team's going to take the next leap that they need to. It's what makes it so exciting, because you never know what could happen. You never know who's going to be better than the other, and it's just entertaining the whole way through. So hyped up is what I'd be.
I like it. Yeah, I'm hyped too. Most definitely down here in Jacksonville, we are going crazy as we get to see what happens when Trevor Lawrence hits the field, and we can't wait to see what a swole Trav, shout out to Trav Hunter, is going to be doing. Hey, Uncle Scott, what's the word for the next season coming up?
I think it's excitement. I mean, these outlets have talked up these teams. Teams have signed their free agents. See what they do on the field. So I'd say excitement. As soon as the NFL draft hits, for me, football's back, because then you get the OTAs, then you get the mini camps, then you get the trades, like the AJ Brown trade, like a couple other trades. Then you get into training camp, and once you get into training camp, it's full go. It's on for everybody. So excitement.
Excitement's a great one. Hey, Bobby G, you got to close it out for us. What you thinking when it comes to this NFL season?
hopeful. Being a Cleveland fan, it's been a rough 26 years, minus a few good years mixed in, but just hopeful, man. I like the direction of the franchise. I'm like coach, liking some of the additions to the roster, both last year and this year, and just hopeful and seeing if we can finally put it together and move forward. I mean, hell, we got to catch up with the rest of, the Guardians are consistently, winning and competing, and the Cavs are consistently competing. Browns, what you waiting on? Come to the party. So,
yeah, man, the world of sports in Cleveland is definitely changing. I can't wait to hear what you and the gang from Game Time 216 tell me when we get the whole team on the show, because we got to bring the whole boys in here, man. Hey, man, check this out, of course, and I'm going to just tell you, we ready. Y'all remember that back? We ready.
yeah.
We ready. That's what we are right now here in Jacksonville. We are turned up. We are excited. Mini camp is going crazy. I can't wait till we get some more information so we can talk about it more in depth. But right about now, I got to make sure that if you are ready, and I know you are, you better be ready to head to Unique Trends and Styles, right? That's what's going on out here in Jacksonville. There's a new barbershop in town, and if you don't know, now you do. Located at 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite AA in Orange Park. They cut all textures of hair, and they got a loctician in the building. That's right, Miss Sheree is there. If you need your locks and your wigs done, bring the whole family. There's a kids' play area and even a game room where you can get beat by Flip on UFC while you wait. Unique Trends and Styles. Enter a customer return as family, and don't forget, you heard it here on the Rec Room Sports Radio Show. If you book your appointment with D or Unique, and you say that you heard it here right here on Rec Room Sports, you can get that 10% discount on your first cut for being a listener. So matter of fact, right about now, I got something for you. I got a 4-pack of tickets to the Jacks Waves next home game. I need you to call the number right now. That's 904-362-9901, 904-362-9901. You call right now. You're going to get tickets and a haircut so you can be fresh at the game. That's right here on Rec Room Sports. It's your boy K-Witt, your mama's #1 draft pick. Brian, play something for the home team. We're going to be right back.
Yeah, man, if y'all ever want to come through, come check out the shop, Unique Trends and Styles. We got a lot of stuff to do. Game room. Come check out the great barbers we have in here. Anybody could cut you up. Fresh cuts every day, clean cuts. Consistency is the key, and we always got you. Thank you.
I reminisce. Oh, that's right, man. It's your boy K Witch, Mama's #1 draft pick. And we are in the Anajar Levine studios right here on ESPN 690. It's going down. It's the Rec Room Sports Radio Show with me and the gang. Of course, we got Bobby G. Happy birthday, bro. Uncle Scott. And then, of course, AP Allen Perales in the building. We got to give a shout out to everybody out there doing their thing, out there on the road, driving, traversing the dangerous highways and byways of 295, I-10, you know what I'm talking about, 95. They always doing something up there by MLK. I don't know what they're doing with that little roundabout area. But make sure you are locked in with us on Twitter. And make sure on Instagram as well, _ Rec Room Sports. TikTok, you can see us at Rec Room Sports Hub. On YouTube at THEE Rec Room Sports Hub, and everywhere else, of course, if you type in Rec Room, we gonna pop up. So big shouts out to everybody tuning in on all platforms right now. Make sure you give us a share, give us a like, because we bringing the internet to your radio. We definitely got to bring that funk, because right about now, somehow, some way, they did some trades in the last 12 hours that maybe even the last 24. That's got me with a little bit of a head scratch. Fellas, first of all, the world turned as we began to see that the gears for the Milwaukee Bucks were finally moving to trade Giannis Antetokounmpo, and it happened overnight. Well, excuse me, not necessarily overnight, but the night before, we found out that Giannis was on the move. That's right, the Milwaukee Bucks decided to reset. Giannis is traded to Miami. And then today, this morning, out of nowhere, in what I would think is pretty much a groundbreaking move, LaMelo Ball from the Charlotte Hornets is traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves to join none other than Ant-Man Anthony Edwards. And let me give you guys just a little bit of context about both trades before we move forward. So for the Giannis trade, right, this is going to be one of those ones where it is going to be for the future, but in some cases right now. So in the end, Giannis will be moved to Miami, and then Bobby Portis will be joining him as well for picks and 4 players. So in the end, out of nowhere, we got to figure out who is going to be the winner of this trade, because the long-term effects for both, the Heat and Milwaukee will be echoed in eternity, because the Miami Heat gave up Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez, and Kasparas Yakudis. Okay, there we go. 3 first-round picks, including the 13th pick from this past week, and 1 pick swap and 1 second rounder later on in the future. They also will get Pat Riley's stylist 2 times out of the month to make suits for the general manager. But anyway, in reality, folks, let's just get into it. This Giannis trade has been echoed in the minds of basketball, basketball heads like myself and everybody else for the longest. We've seen the Milwaukee Bucks do everything they can to make Giannis happy. They signed his brother. They signed the other brother. They gave his daddy a job. They let his mama serve popcorn. They did everything that they could to keep Giannis happy. They bought him Damian Lillard, for Christ's sake. But it didn't work, and now it's time for a rebuild. As we get into what will be one of the biggest moves of the season, gentlemen, where are we on the Giannis trade? And I'm gonna start with Uncle Scott, because I know he and I were talking about it.
I really don't like it for Miami. I think they gave up a lot to get him, which you needed to do. But Norman Powell, who played really well for Miami, now is going to be gone. Rumors are from Shams and Windhorst that he's gone. So you basically have Bam Adebayo, Giannis, Bobby Portis, and some other ancillary pieces. I think Giannis is in the same boat he was in Milwaukee.
Wow.
Where Bam is going to be all right. I get that. He's not going to be the guy he was last year, because Bam was the focal point of that team last year. And now it's Giannis. So I think Giannis is in the same boat as he was in Milwaukee. So I don't like it for Miami at all. I just don't think it's going to work. Those are my thoughts of the Giannis trade.
Yeah, Alan, of course, I know you out there as a connoisseur of Midwestern athletics. As you hear that, you know, Giannis is going from good old Milwaukee to Miami. What are your thoughts, bro?
I mean, more of South, but yeah, and whatever. I agree with Scott. I'm not a fan of what Miami did in this scenario, what they gave up in this scenario. I think the Bucks came out better than what they did in this trade. So I think it was kind of a lateral move for Giannis going to Miami with the players that they got. In fact, it might even be worse. He might even be worse off than he was in Milwaukee. So, well, I mean, you know, Pat Riley's going to try to figure this out one way or the other. But on paper, it just looks like it's not a good trade in Miami's case. And for Milwaukee, obviously they got what they wanted. They got a lot of young talent. They got a lot of young players and future draft picks to help build that roster up for the future. So if I had to pick a winner right now, it would probably be Milwaukee.
I can see why you would think that. Milwaukee being a winner seems like the easier pick because they got the bodies, they got the draft picks. They made 2 picks this past week or yesterday, and they also get a plethora of picks later on in the future. So the rebuild with a piece that, you know, you pretty much was a homegrown piece as Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think is a great idea to say, hey, this is who is winning the trade because they got the stuff they can use right now. Bobby G, me and you had been texting back and forth about this the other night. What is your thoughts on that same trade?
I'm the same. I don't like it immediately for the Heat, but I don't think this trade was for the upcoming season. I think this trade was for the next few seasons. So we have to wait and see what else the Heat have cooking. Because as it stands right now, if you took this team to the regular season, granted, yes, Giannis is the top 5 player in this league. Bam is top 10 to 15, wherever you have them. Right now, as constructed, they're the 6th best team in the East. You know, just off the top of my head, thinking about it, like I wouldn't put them ahead of Boston. I wouldn't put them ahead of the Knicks. Obviously, wouldn't put them ahead of the Pistons. I wouldn't put them ahead of Charlotte with the Melo trade. And I know we'll talk about that next. I wouldn't put them ahead of the Cavs. So it's like, let's see what else they do. But as a pairing, this is what the best pairing of bigs in their prime since maybe Lonzo Mourning and Larry Johnson. So there is hope for what they could do, but at the same time, you know, people excuse me, gave Jalen Brunson a lot of grief for saying small guards can't win. When was the last, you know, how many teams have won where your 4 and your 5 were your best 2 players? The Spurs?
Hey, yeah.
But that's literally all I can think of. What other team won a championship where their best players were the 4 and 5? Like, you have to have a dynamic wing player. So, and with all the money you now have tied up in your front court, how do you get that wing player, and who's it going to be?
Yeah, that I definitely think that you on what I'm on, Bobby. And when I was thinking about it, I was trying to think of the last time 2 bigs were paired together, and it really made sense. To a degree, on the East Coast, it made me think of like Roy Hibbert and Jermaine O'Neal, but like Jermaine O'Neal was in one direction, Roy Hibbert was in another.
They didn't play together though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, let's say they put them together in Indiana.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
If we put them together, 2 of them at the same time. You said it already. Tim Duncan and of course, you know, the Admiral is the one the 2 that played together.
Yeah, and if you look at them, like Dave Robson was really on his way out, and Tim Duncan was young.
Right.
And LJ and Mourning would be your prime example, but they broke up before they really could get going.
Yeah, in Charlotte, and of course, where did Alonzo Mourning go? right to Miami.
Yeah.
You know, this is for me an example of kind of like Pat Riley doing that thing that I feel like he does best, where he kind of plays slow. Y'all know what America loves? America loves a mob story, a mob movie, something with gangsters in it. Pat Riley is from that old school. Y'all know what it is? Vincent the Chin Gigante of the Genovese family. That's right, of the 5 boroughs. You know, in the 1960s, the Chin, as they called him, used to like to play slow. He became a recluse. He avoided the traditional profile of mob meetings. He wandered the streets in Greenwich Village in a bathrobe. He played slow. Pat Riley walks around in a suit, his hair slicked back, he's real quiet, he holds his face as if he's not thinking. But Pat Riley was thinking of what to do with the Miami Heat. He had a plan. He just didn't know when to execute it, because even Vincent the Chin Gigante got guys whacked. Okay, even though they thought he was a little bit of, his mind wasn't working and he wasn't really, there, and the other families were doing things, because in this thing of ours, there's always a time to talk and a time to not talk. Pat Riley thought this was the time to talk, and that's what he did. And he made the move that others wanted to make, because, of course, we will get into the aftermath of Giannis being traded to Miami and it not being a part of a Jalen Brown Celtics trade. Pat Riley did what he thought was necessary. And the Chin, he kind of was known for doing what was necessary. Not necessary. Of course, here on the RecRoomSports Radio Show, we are not condoning violence or mob activities, but we do know the truth is the truth. A lot of people will go, well, what's Pat Riley going to do? The Heat culture is lost. It's not like it used to be. The last thing they had in their hands when they got to the finals 2 times in a row was Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler found his way out of that situation, just like Jimmy Butler found his way out of many others. But in this case, like he has on many other occasions, Pat Riley, remember, went out there, found his way to bring Shaq in. Okay. Alonzo Mourning brought him in. Found a way to get Jimmy Butler, brought him in. Magically convinced D Wade to talk to LeBron, bring him in. This is the next big step for Pat Riley, doing the Vincent the Chin thing. If you see those sidelines, he's sitting next to Alonzo Mourning. He's holding a pen. He's got his hand over his mouth. He's not really saying much. And a lot of times he was leaving the games for the Miami Heat from the sidelines early. And I think this was just his way of saying, I'm still in power. If there's 5 families of the NBA, I'm one of the strongest. And bolstered his lineup with a star still somewhat in his prime in Giannis Antetokounmpo. So the Heat win for the future, but Milwaukee Bucks, I think, win the trade for right now. And then, of course, guys, where are we if we don't talk about LaMelo Ball? Like, somehow, some way, the Charlotte Hornets are a win away from being from a playoff drought after they get spanked by the Orlando Magic. And then now this is the trade that happens overnight after Con Knippel is somewhat in the runnings of rookie of the year and the team's looking good. What is the thought process that Charlotte has to be in for giving up, a star point guard to be in a backcourt with a superstar like Anthony Edwards? And I'll go to Bobby for that one.
They're telling the roster playtime is over. Like, LaMelo, as talented as he was, kind of had the same kind of reputation like Dwight Howard and Trae Young. Like, I mean, he loves to have fun. You can see it on the court. You see it in his game. His game's all about fun and flash. But they have a team. They got some guys like Brandon Miller's stone cold. He can play. Con Knippel, I told you guys last year, he was the most ready to play rookie in last year's class. Came out and proved it. These guys are ready to play. They're ready to win. They just need a leader on the court. And I like the move for them. I think this makes them a playoff team because now they have the money. They're just going to give it to Kobe White, and Kobe White's going to be the starting point guard going forward. And Kobe White is his game. He's picked up his game the last 2 seasons, starting in Chicago. And I love him as this team point guard. So I think it could be a win-win for both teams. As you guys know, I had LaMelo pretty much in the same boat I held Trae Young. Fantastic talent, terrific player. It just didn't make winning plays at the end of the day.
Yeah, I definitely can see what you think about that.
Interesting to see how it translates in Minnesota.
For sure, 100%. Bobby G, thank you for that one. Once again, happy birthday. If y'all don't know everybody, big shout out to Bobby G. Put happy birthday in the comments. Uncle Scott, of course,
or put a couple dollars on my bank account. There you go.
I agree with Bobby. The front office in Charlotte is saying, okay, Brandon Miller, okay, Con, okay, Naz Reid, who they got in the trade, put your big boy pants.
Yeah.
We're about ready to we want to take the next step. And this is, you guys are going to lead us to the next step and beyond. So I've been high on Charlotte the last 2 years. I'm still high on them. I think they got unlimited talent through the roof. I think they can give teams trouble. I like it for Minnesota. I do. I think Minnesota now has a solid backcourt of Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. And if LaMelo Ball's head is screwed on straight, Minnesota could be a handful in the West to handle. They were plus 1,100 to win the West. I put a bet on them as soon as the Ball trade went through. I think it gives San Antonio and Oklahoma City some problems. And Minnesota thought to themselves, we need another piece to get us over the hump. What can we do to get over the hump? And they thought it was LaMelo Ball, so they went out and got him. So I like the team. I like trade for both teams. I think both teams are this is a win-win for both teams, I think. So that's my thoughts.
All right, Alan.
He came out of nowhere. I mean, when Sham said last night, Melo Ball was the next guy to go, I was like, really?
Yeah,
Serious?
me too. Yeah. While I was watching everything, as soon as he said that, I said, no way. That's a fake move. Brandon Miller's going to be gone. But nah, I woke up this morning, LaMelo Ball to Minnesota.
And they got the perfect player back, Naz Reid.
Reid, yeah. And so perfect that they loved him. They loved him in Minnesota. Signs, people got tattoos of Naz Reid, all kinds of stuff was going on before Naz Reid left. AP, your thoughts?
I agree. I love this trade for Charlotte. They've been one of the up-and-coming teams in the East the last couple of years, as Scott mentioned. They can firmly put themselves in not just in playoff position, but possibly contending in the East the next couple of years. I love the makeup of this team now with what they've done. I actually don't like it for Minnesota. I don't like LaMelo Ball going to Minnesota because I think the contrast in styles between him and Anthony Edwards are going to clash, especially with their personalities. I think that you're going to see it, maybe not right away, but there's going to be a point in time where they're in each other's faces, or both guys are struggling, and somebody's going to have to step up and be the leader of that team, and I don't know who it's going to be. That's the thing, is I don't know which one of these guys. It's more than likely going to be Ant, because that has been his team for a while now. But if Ant's struggling, I don't know if LaMelo is going to be able to pick up the pieces and be the leader of the team that the team needs going forward. And the West is stacked. The West is stacked between San Antonio, OKC, Denver. I think the Lakers, if they keep LeBron, are still going to be there. Houston's, I think, is going to figure it out especially if Fred VanVleet is healthy. I don't like this move for Minnesota because I think you needed another big body to go with Rudy Gobert, and I don't think they have that yet.
Yeah, man. And this is one of those instances where I gotta put it out there that, of course, it's wild to think that for Charlotte. Yeah, thanks, Uncle Scott. It's wild to think that for Charlotte to be that close and then get rid of, their star point guard, but pay Kobe White today. But they were anticipating this was the thing. But I feel like Ant Edwards on the outside of the spectrum in Minnesota was going through his own thoughts, like, dang, Cat won a championship. AG won a championship. Everybody won a championship when they left Minnesota. What am I gonna do? Who's gonna play with me? I want to go. I gotta get out of here. You know, he's in this room like I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. Because, and I'm gonna tell y'all this. You know, this is a part of the internet, bringing the internet to your radio. There's a viral clip of the All-Star game, okay, where Ant Edwards is having a conversation with one of the players from the Atlanta Hawks who just so happened to be an all-star. And he's whispering, but it's not necessarily whispering. He going, ooh, y'all got all the wings. Y'all are athletic. I can't wait to go home. Ooh, wait. And I think that the Minnesota brass probably got wind of that. And, you know, there is no secret to the idea that a player like Ant Edwards would love to play for the hometown crowd in Atlanta, you know.
And I think he was talking about the wings of a certain establishment and the athletic prowess of the workers therein. You know, that could also been.
Could one of our people, Rec Room people, wanted to go to that place?
You know, I believe there is one in particular. We will find out his location very shortly. But yeah, it's wild to say that this was right on the verge of possibly being, one of the last 2 years for Ant Edwards being in Minnesota, and they went out and did what I think is the equivalent of Minnesota getting Damian Lillard. They bought a great point guard, a dynamic point guard who has injury history. Same thing they did in Milwaukee. But we'll see if it plays out better. And, of course, in the world of basketball, the Barclays was the home of everything basketball this past Wednesday. It's crazy because the draft is one of those times where we don't know what's going to happen. We know who's going to be number 1, number 2, but then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This is where the draft is really won and really lost. So big shouts out to everybody who was selected. And guys, we knew what was going to happen to a degree. Number 1, of course, for Washington, we went ahead and got Anise DeBansta. That's right. The bad man went out to Washington. Darren Peterson, of course, went number 2, was selected by Utah. Cam Boozer. Who else knew? Of course, going to Duke. And then so on and so forth. Because Caleb Wilson from North Carolina to Chicago, Keaton Wagler from Illinois is to the Clippers, Mike Brown Jr., Darius Acuff. Big shouts out to our guy Evan Wheeler, who made sure we were aware of how good both Kingston Flemings and Darius Acuff were, and they both went back to back. So I know somewhere in that P5 athletic building, there's a big smile across the face of Evan Wheeler's face because those were his guys this season. That when he did put us up on game. Morez Johnson Jr. is going to go play with his college coach in Dallas, and then Braden Burries from Arizona got picked up by one of those Milwaukee picks, which of course is exciting because he will be filling in that backcourt, which is going to be pretty much a brand new backcourt for Milwaukee. So, guys, as we think about what took place just the other day for the draft, where are we in the spectrum of saying this is going to be an exciting draft? This is the monumental draft everybody talked about. Are we still up in the air as we get ready for that?
And it's monumental because it's AJ. Let's just put it out there. AJ's gonna make it monumental. I know Evan's hyping up the other guys, but this is the AJ draft. I'm just disappointed he went to Washington. Why Washington? Why? Well, we got to get free AJ already. Already free AJ. I'm campaigning. Got to get him up out of there.
Bruh. Yeah. Hey, look, Chocolate City sometimes, man, it's the allure. Uncle Scott, your thoughts?
I agree with Bobby, but this is Utah. Utah could be the next team in the West to come in. Their team. Look at their team now with Darren Peterson. You have Ace Bailey, You have Darren Peterson. You have Lauri Markkanen. You have all these guys, Keontae George. You have all these guys, all these young guys now. It's almost like an Atlanta-Charlotte situation where all these guys were young and they're building up. And I think Utah getting Darren Peterson, if he stays off the creatine and he focuses on playing basketball, Utah could have something there. And who is the guy that put this all together? Danny Ainge. He did it with the Celtics. He's now doing it in Utah. He knows what he wants. He goes and gets what he wants. Whether they want to come to Utah or not, he gets what he wants. He builds a team, and he watches that team grow. And sure enough, when he did it with the Celtics years ago, a couple decades ago, we watched that team grow and through trades and everything else. And now guess what? He's doing it through the draft and through the other things too. So kudos to Danny Ainge in Utah. They have really got something special in the West there. Not saying they're going to beat San Antonio or Oklahoma City or even Minnesota, but they could be that team that's the fourth team in the West that's really, really good. So I like Darren Peterson should thank his lucky stars he's going to Utah because they're going to be really good, I think. I think they're going to make the playoffs this year coming up. So.
And Uncle Scott, you said the magic word. You said it. That's right. You said Oklahoma, so we got to go to Allen. What we thinking, bro?
Oh, by the way, thank you, everybody, for A-Day Mara. That was really kind of you to let us have him at Big 12. So thank you for that. I'm actually kind of surprised that ACUF fell to 7 to Sacramento. I think that's going to be a really good spot for him. I agree with Scott. I think Utah's going to be on the up and coming here pretty soon. I love the build of that team. Yeah, and I agree with both you guys too. You know, why Washington for AJ? Because no, please no. I mean, other than that, it's like, you know, it's kind of what you expected. Some teams filled definite needs that they needed. I know we did, and other teams, you know, just trading around. I know, Bobby, you guys traded out of the first round and gathered more picks up. So, is this the game of cat and mouse at this point with some of the top teams in the NBA? So, I loved what we did. I loved the ACUF pick by Sacramento, and then of course I liked Boozer going to Utah.
Wait, can I mention something real quick? The summer leagues for the NBA are going to be highly fascinating this year. This summer more than any other summer in recent memory. All these guys are going to be playing someplace, whether it be in Vegas, Utah, wherever it is. And I can't wait to watch these summer league games because they're going to be really, really good, I think, to watch and get an idea. So
I'm 100% with you. And, of course, the summer league games will be held as per usual, in the Las Vegas area. I know Bobby can't wait to get tickets for that.
4 leagues.
Yeah. So how many? Like 4 weeks, 5 weeks?
No. You got 4 leagues. You got the Orlando League, the Bay Area League, the Utah League, and the Vegas League is like where everybody plays in the Vegas League.
Yeah. The Vegas one is the one, you know, they got ESPN coverage and everything, of course. And then, of course, when we think about our friends on the road traveling, we got to ask, where is Jay, man? So, of course, Jay is currently on the road in Salem, Virginia. Alan, you got some sports news for Salem, Virginia?
Yeah. Here's something you'll like, Scott. They have a minor league baseball team that is the single A affiliate of the Boston Red Sox, the Salem Redjacks.
Shout out to the Red Jacks, man. Shout out to the Salem Red Jacks.
I'm more a fan of the Jumbo Shrimp than I am the Red Jacks, to be honest.
You got to be a Jumbo Shrimp fan to be on this show. Big shouts out to our guy.
Also,
Ethan.
I did know that he did pass through Norman here the other day, so he did.
Yes, I did get word that he was considering stopping through and hollering at you, but of course he got to keep on trucking, baby. You got to keep on Trucking. Anyway, y'all, you know what it is, man. It's the boys from the RecRoomSports Radio crew. We got another hour to go. Oh, we got Mia O'Brien on the back end. Get ready to talk that WNBA. And, of course, we're bringing that internet to your radio. So wait till we come back right after this break. Brian, here's something for the homies right quick, boy.
Yeah, man, if y'all ever want to come through, come check out the shop. Unique Trends and Styles. We got a lot of stuff to do. Game room. Come check out the great barbers we have in here. You know, anybody could cut you up. Fresh cuts every day, clean cuts. Consistency is the key, and we always got you. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. It's your boy K with your mama's number one draft pick, and this is Rec Room Radio. We got mass appeal. Y'all know what it is. Of course, back with the gang, hour number 2. We got the birthday boy, Bobby G. We got Uncle Scott Cove, and of course, AP Ala Perez in the building. We like to do something where we bring the internet to your radio. And of course, you guys know this past week or these past few days have included a plethora of drafts, bodies being moved. Timberwolves get LaMelo Ball, Giannis get Miami Heat, Tyler Hero to Milwaukee. It's a never-ending saga that is what the NBA offseason has become. But what about the players who get left in the wake of these trades, who get dangled out there like frozen meat for like a polar bear or something, and then they get left, and this is where we do exactly that. We have that conversation, a tough conversation, where we talk about one of my favorite superstars from this past season, from any season, literally, Jaylen Brown from the Boston Celtics, of course, reportedly by Shams Charania, who does the reporting right now. Was put out there not once, not twice, but 3 times for 3 supposed trades, twice for Kevin Durant and 1 time for a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade. All 3 did not come to fruition for the Boston Celtics. So as we get into what's really going to go on for, Boston and how they move forward, guys, like, how should we feel about Boston, or how should rather Jaylen Brown feel about Boston and their move to try to acquire talent through moving him? And he is the Eastern Conference Finals MVP, the Finals MVP, a 5th place runner-up for MVP last season. What is there else to say but darn, I thought I was doing my job.
Well, I think when you're going after big game fish like Giannis and Kevin Durant and other guys, you have to put either Brown or Tatum in the deal, and they're not going to trade Tatum. So Jaylen Brown is the guy. And they're still trying to trade him. They're still trying to move him. I mean, when you look at it, his name has been rumored to Cleveland, to the Clippers, to Utah, to Atlanta. I mean, it's a part of the business. And, I know Jaylen Brown has a chip on his shoulder, and he does not want to hear this. We don't know if behind the scenes if Jaylen Brown has said, hey, trade me. I want to go to a team and have my own team. And I can't have it here with Jason Tatum. So we don't know that for a fact. With the Celtics still trying to aggressively trade him, I think this is going to end up at Jaylen Brown in another uniform before next season starts. Wherever he is, I just think Jaylen Brown's going to – I think the Celtics have gone so far down the road now that they not that they have to take less to trade him, but they have to trade him. And that's my feeling on it. I don't want to see him go.
As you and I are both resident Celtics fan, this is tough to take because we drafted him. He turned into an awesome player. He turned into everything and more that we thought he would be as we took him, from Cal, and look at what he's become. From the high top fade all the way to an MVP candidate and an NBA champion.
He got booed on draft night. He got booed in Boston on draft night. Celtics fans booed him. They did not want him.
Right.
And look what the guy he's turned into. The player he's turned into. He's a top 15 NBA player. I'm not going to go so far as to top 10. Top 10.
Easily 15. Easily 15. Alan, you are a part of an organization that drafts players and retains them and finds a way to, make homegrown talent look really good. What are your thoughts on putting a star out there for trade and then him having to return to the organization?
So I'm not proud to admit this, but I only lasted one semester in college. But one of the courses I took was a psychology course. And I have gotten really good at reading certain people, certain individuals. And I've recently been kind of trying to dissect, what's going on with Jaylen Brown and why he's kind of acting the way he is. Because you look at some of the comments he's made, saying this was his favorite season of his career, even though his running mate was out for a majority, or if not the entire year. And then they got, completely embarrassed in the playoffs. You take a look at some of the stuff that's been going on, like you said, Scott, behind the scenes, behind closed doors, and Boston's been wanting to trade him for years now, which kind of raises an eyebrow. It's like, why do you want to get rid of one of your best players? And then you come to his off the field drama, where the whole world has seen it, with not just Stephen A. Smith, but the entirety of ESPN. And that, I'm sure, has played a factor as well. It kind of tells me, like, to what you were trying to say, Scott, he kind of wants to have his own team. He kind of wants to be his own guy. He kind of wants to run his own show. He got to do that for a majority of the year this year. Boston still had success. They still got to the postseason, and he proved that, yeah, he can be that guy. So maybe that's why he's doing this. But I think the reason why there's a lot of closed door stuff going on in Boston right now, where the Celtics are like, if we have to get a big name star in, like you said, Scott, the one guy we're trading is Jaylen Brown, because we'll be okay letting him go, but we do not want to get rid of Jason Tatum.
I don't know. Close this one out for us, big guy. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious he has to be moved, right? I mean, everything Scott and Alan says is absolutely true. And not saying the things he's done away from the court are wrong. Like, he has every right to do it. Like, you can, hop on your show or whoever's podcast platform and say whatever you want. What you have to understand is there's going to be reactions and consequences, and you don't get to decide how people react to the things that you do. You just have to live with it. And, something comes with saying that your favorite season for a team whose aspirations is championship every year is the season that we get bounced in the first round of the playoffs.
Hello.
Something to be said when you have a teammate who you won championships with, and saying your favorite season was, the season where he was not around. Like, there's going to be reactions to that. And how you don't understand that is beyond me. It's like an older brother said, hey, I love when my little brother's not around. Well, your parents are going to look at you like, well, what do you mean? What are you talking about? So, and yeah, I mean, there's something to it. Like the decision of the franchise to choose between he and Jason Tatum has been made a long time ago. Yeah. Just turn on the television. Who's on your commercials? It's Jason Tatum. It's not Jaylen Brown. That's not an accident. Yes, it's his agent doing it, but it's the team also supporting him, supporting those decisions from these major companies. So when it comes time to get another big name star, unfortunately, your name's going to be the one tossing it. You can't take it personally, bro. If we learn nothing from this era of talent, they move on. And it's just the way this generation is. Players move, they switch. Take it back to Isaiah Thomas. I mean, people love to play, the Magics and the Jordan. They never did. I'll take it back to Isaiah Thomas. They didn't do it because they couldn't. Not because they didn't want to. They didn't do it because they couldn't. They fought for these players to be able to move the way they can. And so, just don't take it personal. It's the business of basketball. Hey, you did great things for the Celtics, and, unfortunately, it's just your time to move on. So, but I definitely think that he can't go in the next season in a Celtic uniform.
No, I agree.
You do, and the organization, they're not going to want to carry that, that baggage into the season. So the only question is, what can they get, and who do they reach out to?
This is where I'm a little biased because, I've seen, and this is me as a Celtics fan, I've seen what's going on in the organization. They've made drastic changes. Brad Stevens has gone up to the front office position. Of course, we've got a head coach who, wins Coach of the Year. Even though his coaching style, especially the way he does things in the media, is a little bit of unorthodox, the proof is in the pudding. It's not necessarily the organization, and it's not necessarily the coaching. Do things have to change, though? For sure. I feel like Jaylen Brown is enough of an intellectual person to hear that, hey, your trade value was through the roof this past season. This season was supposed to be a wash, ladies and gentlemen. It was supposed to be null and void because there was no Jason Tatum.
Yeah. And
Jaylen Brown strapped them boys to his back and went out there with Lanus Cater at center. Okay. And got them to the playoffs, semifinals of the Eastern Conference. I mean, what else can we say, Jaylen? You gave us no choice. You did so good that if we didn't give you the opportunity to be somewhere else, that we wouldn't have the value for you later on down the line. Now, can Jaylen Brown use his genius analytical mind and say, well, yeah, I guess that does mean I'm pretty valuable if they were willing to trade me for Kevin Durant? Me for KD, wow. Maybe he comes back and says, well, you know what? I'm going to do it again. I give you one more year, me balling out alongside Jason Tatum, who on multiple occasions, both of them have made claims as though there is no friction between them. And put up his trade value because before February, something happens, because I think in all likelihood he starts week 1 of the NBA season in a Celtics jersey. But maybe by February, where the trade deadline becomes hot and heavy as we get closer to the All-Star break, maybe they do find something, because I think he would be ideally one of the people to start that exodus for homegrown talent where he gets traded to Atlanta for one of those key wing players that Atlanta likes to garner out there and dangle, because it makes sense to me. Hey, look, Atlanta, you want to be great one day, right? You want to garner the attention of another superstar who is in another conference and maybe tell him to come home. So we'll get you Jaylen Brown, but you can give me this one, that one, and then 2 first rounds, because that's what Jaylen Brown. And then they're going to go, well, why do you want 2 first rounds? Well, let me tell you 2 things. Finals MVP, Eastern Conference, Finals MVP as well. That's why. Give me them picks. Give me those bodies. Here goes Jaylen Brown. And maybe they do something, because in retrospect, he's earned the right to be traded, but traded the right way. I don't no more sneaky behind the back. It could have happened overnight. Let's talk to him. He is smart enough to make a decision and say, hey, I want to be here or I don't. Or rather, hey, look. And at the same time, he's done enough in the organization where you can look him in the eye and say, well, do you mind us sending you home? We'll send you to Atlanta. If Atlanta takes this trade, you go to Atlanta. It could be your team. You the man. You got a ring. Nobody else does. And that's how I feel about it.
I don't think he could start the year in Boston. I just don't think so, because his trade value is not as high as it is right now. What if he comes back next year and he goes out and he averages 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 7 turnovers a game? No team's going to want that. That's not the Jaylen Brown that teams want to trade for. His value is highest right now. You can't. I don't know. Jaylen Brown's a smart man. I get that and everything. I don't know if he could come back and be the same player he was at the end of last year. I just don't know if he can do it. And that would be my fear, is that the Celtics will not trade him during the season. They won't do it. I can't see a atmosphere where they do it. So that's why they're still actively and aggressively trying to trade the guy, because they know if he comes back, they may get pennies on the dollar and not 80 cents on the dollar for him.
Well, when you talk about value and what it may cost in the long run, there's a way that it can happen and a way that they want it to happen. It can still happen, but will it happen that the way that the front office will agree with? Maybe not, because of course other organizations have seen that, hey, he's out there, and then hey, if we wait just a little while longer, the value for Jaylen Brown is going to be such that we can get him for, like you said, pennies on the dollar or a little less than what they were doing. And like I said, he is intellectual enough to where I think if it happens, he stays. But you know where I want to stay? Right here on the Rec Room Sports Radio Show, where Unique Trends and Styles, of course, is there for you to look sharp when your style matters. Unique Trends and Styles, the barbershop right here in Jacksonville, really technically Orange Park, right there on 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8A in Orange Park. Right about now, when you book your appointment, make sure you give them a call. That's at 904-592-7135. And if you mention that you heard it right here on the Rec Room Sports Radio Show, you can book an appointment with D or Unique and get that 10% discount on your boy. And I promise you're going to come out looking fresh. I got some pictures from some haircuts that they laid down, and let me tell you something. Is on when you're in their chair. So once again, go ahead and head to Unique Trends and Styles today. Make your appointment. That number is 904-592-7135. And once again, that's 266 Blandon Boulevard, Suite 8A. Talk to Biff. Talk to Unique. Talk to D. Shannon, Flip. What's good? What's happening, everybody? Make sure you get locked in with Unique Trends and Styles, where you will come in as a friend but leave as family. We'll be right back in just a moment. We got to talk to WNBA, and we'll be looking forward to speaking with Miss Mia O'Brien. Hey, Brian, play something for the homies, man. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man, if y'all ever want to come through, come check out the shop, Unique Trends and Styles. We got a lot of stuff to do. Game room. Come check out the great barbers we have in here. Anybody could cut you up. Fresh cuts every day, clean cuts. Consistency is the key, and we always got you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are back. It's the boys for the RecRoomSports Radio Show. Man, it's your boy K with your mama's number one draft pick. Bobby G, the birthday boy, is in the building. Uncle Scott Cobe is here. And, of course, AP Allen Perales. Fellas. You know what happens, right? When we got guests in the building, we just, you know how it is. You got to, like, vacuum the floor real quick. You know what I'm saying? Get the Roomba out. Make sure everything's put into place. Please do us a favor, Uncle Scott. Pull out the fine china because we have to have a great conversation today with our guests. Once again, joining us after having a momentous occasion that we're going to have to ask about happening in her life. We're going to make some noise for ESPN Radio correspondent and women's basketball knowledge connoisseur, Mia O'Brien, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on, Mia?
What's going on, guys? I'm excited to be officially in the video chat. So let's hope I can hear everybody and not just your boy K Witz hanging out in HQ right now, which, I mean, hey, like, could have popped in there too. But I appreciate you guys letting me catch up with you from the home studio too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know, we enjoy, giving our audience and our visitors, a little bit of comfort. So you can kick it at the house. And first of all, before we go any further, I must say, congratulations on the marriage.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know what was harder, planning a wedding the last year or trying to get all those photos uploaded to Instagram today. I truly needed my cold plunge this afternoon to like reset my brain after staring at a screen for too long.
Hey, but you know what happens, you get married, you start opening them envelopes, baby.
More money.
The boxes that are going to be, piling up from the registry and blocking your front door for a couple days there. And at first you're like, oh, whatever, it's fine. But then you reach a point and you're like, I probably have to like use my front door. So yes, we are in the full 2 weeks post marriage wedding celebration. So I'm finally starting to become a normal human once again in terms of like, reminding myself I do need to go grocery shopping. I do need to from time to time.
Right. Well, welcome back to the real world. We appreciate you, of course. So normally in this section of the show, we do a little thing. We have some fun and we bring the funk, as we say. So we're going to do a little thing we call special delivery. Here's the button. Because you couldn't hear nothing last time. So now you get all the buttons, okay? I'm hitting everything today. So to me, we bring you in because we love the idea of something that we don't know. And if we know a little bit about it, you bring the rest of the knowledge to the table. So right now, the WNBA season is in full swing. And when I say in full swing, it's happening. And when I say swing, I don't mean punching your assailant on the court. But that is a part of the game because the women's game is taking off completely at a whole nother level, in my opinion. Of course, adding 2 more teams, the implementation of brand new players within like months of being in, NCAA tournaments. And then what I'm going to get to, one of my favorite things we're going to talk about is the rising star that I don't think anybody really saw coming to fruition. So first of all, of course, we've got our guy, Uncle Scott, who coached in women in high school. Got some things for you, Uncle Scott. When it comes to the WNBA, what did you want to bring up for me today, big guy?
I don't know if the rookie you're talking about is Olivia Miles.
Come on, bro. Don't steal my fire.
I'll go to the next question then. Angel Reese got traded to Atlanta in the offseason.
Yep.
What has she brought to the dream, number one, besides her rebounding? And number 2, what do you see in her offensive game that you didn't see last year?
Yeah, it's a great starting point because I also host the women's basketball podcast on OG Triangle Media, and that was our lead story on this week's episode with USA Today's Mitch Northam. Because a lot of folks, given that I am a Caitlin Clark stan and covered the University of Iowa for 3 years while Caitlin was still in high school, and stand by that program and stand by Caitlin, a lot of folks wonder if I can say something nice about Angel Reese. I absolutely can, but more so than just saying something nice about the former LSU Tiger. I have always said nice things about former Florida Gulf Coast head coach in Carl Semesco, now the second-year head coach of the Atlanta Dream. Had the opportunity to cover his Eagles team when they played Jacksonville University and UNF over the last 8 years. And so obviously coming out of FGCU, the thought process, bringing his entire staff, was that Carl was going to make every single player 1 through 11 shoot the 3 ball. You did see an uptick last year in post players like Brittany Griner and Naz Hillman, who had never really attempted all that many threes, all of a sudden stepping out from beyond the arc and expanding their game. And I think that was the expectation for Angel, but I want to go even more big picture than that. The reality is what Angel brings to the table is that she does all of those little things between the margins, whether that be offensive rebounding, diving on the floor for loose balls. And those are things that Carl Semesco equally values, and equally on the defensive end, he has helped elevate her game in the same way he's elevated Alicia Gray and Ryan Howard's defensive prowess. But for me, Angel Reese is the type of player, if you go back to the Detroit Pistons, if you go back to the Chicago Bulls of the 90s, everyone wants to compare to Dennis Rodman, whether you believe that or not, or Ben Wallace with the Pistons in the 2000s. My thing is that she is a player who is probably not your number one scoring option. And that's okay, because she does so many other things well. Right. And that's where she always needed to go to a spot where she was not the focal point. In Chicago, for a litany of reasons, she was the focal point of the Chicago Sky, offensive, defensively, the face of the team. And while I believe she loved being the face of the team, for her to have the most success possible on a basketball floor, she needs to be the third, fourth, or fifth option. And that's what she is in Atlanta. And I say that with all the kindness in the world, because we are seeing her elevate to a point where you are seeing her ability to shoot the basketball, her ability to more consistently rebound and not just quote unquote me-bound. And you're seeing that, I think, because of the pieces around her. And additionally, because everyone else can shoot the three, you're seeing more of a 4-out offense where she can truly space the floor and allow for other players to create.
Can the Dream beat one of the big boys in terms of Minnesota, Vegas, or New York in the playoffs?
I do think they can. They're in my upper echelon. We talked about that on this week's episode as well. In terms of our tiers for me in that upper, and part of it is this is what the standings read, but I do believe at this juncture, the top 4 teams in the WNBA are the Minnesota Lynx, the Las Vegas Aces, the Atlanta Dream, and the Dallas Wings. In terms of depth, in terms of championship aspirations, while I do think Dallas is still young, and I'm sure we'll touch on them at some point in time, Atlanta has been there before. They were the 3 seed last year. And Carl's got a pedigree. He won 9 ASUN tournament championships. And I know nationally, maybe that doesn't get the play that it should, much like Jose Fernandez winning and going to as many NCAA tournaments and NITs as he did at USF. No one wants to talk about our Florida mid-major scene, boys. It's unfortunate. But the reality is that those guys are respected by the best of the best, Gino Auriemma on down. And so, yes, the Atlanta Dream, if Alicia Gray is healthy, since I know she got banged up a little bit last night, if Alicia Gray is healthy, yes, even though there's been a knock on their top 5 is really top heavy and maybe the bench doesn't score as much unless they're playing the Indiana Fever. No, they are a competitive championship caliber team.
Okay. All right, man. Bobby G here. And since you brought up my Las Vegas Aces, yay. I love the addition to Kennedy Carter in the offseason. However, a couple weeks ago, she may ruffle some feathers by insinuating that she was being cuffed.
Doesn't she always ruffle feathers, though? I just want to say that.
Is there smoke there? Is there like something going in the locker room people don't know about, or is it just a whole bunch of nothing? And what do you think? Can we repeat again?
The Aces can absolutely repeat. I don't know if Kennedy Carter is going to be a part of that or not, but I think they've had success without her. It's very suspicious for me. It was almost our beef of the week this week, just because this idea of it was a leg injury. Now it's an illness. Look, I covered Jalen Ramsey. I know how this goes. Additionally, the weird cryptic messages on Threads was weird. But ultimately, and we said this going into this season, Kennedy Carter is, for lack of a better term, the Terrell Owens, Randy Moss type, and not to say those 2 guys are Hall of Famers, but so to not put her in the Hall of Fame category.
Dylan Brooks.
Yes, but even more so with those 2 players, I look to them just because if Randy Moss doesn't go to New England and doesn't have the infrastructure around him, we don't know what happens with his career. The same can be said for T.O. in Philadelphia. As much as he was doing abs out in the front lawn, at the same time, he was a part of a Super Bowl runner-up team. And so I think that the hope was that if Becky Hammon gets a hold of Kennedy Carter, she's going to reel her in and make her the 6th woman of the year. But if Becky can't find a way to maximize her potential, then it might be time to head back to Mexico or play internationally, because the W may not be for her.
Yeah, definitely in that aspect. She was I was following her Instagram. She was having a good time internationally, though. If I must say so. If anybody was having a good time internationally, Kennedy Carter was having a good time. AP Alan Ferralis is in the building, of course. Alan, you had a thought or two, right?
Absolutely. you mentioned it earlier, Whit. We had two new teams added in this year. What's your assessment of those teams so far this year, and what's their projection going forward?
Yeah, well, when the expansion draft took place, look, I mean, I don't want to say that we are going to go off of recency bias in history, but that's all we had to go off of, coupled with the announcement and the unveiling of the Portland Fire and Toronto Tempo. I think it's been a masterclass by the Toronto front office, not just hiring Sandy Brondello, the former WNBA title-winning head coach of the New York Liberty, but also just how they've rolled out their marketing materials, how they've really tried to brand themselves as Canada's team. I think it's been a masterclass. I think the selection of Marina Mabry, giving her the max contract. Look, I think what Sandy Brondello has succeeded at, and maybe this is where things fell apart in New York a little bit, is that she's always been able to get by with more with less. And Brittany Sykes and Marina Mabry may not be common household names to the mainstream audience, but when you're dropping 30 some odd a night and people were knocking them for having the most expensive backcourt in the league, and then those two players prior to Sykes's plantar fasciitis injury that she suffered against the Fever last week are doing what they're doing, it makes sense. And so I think going into the season, we all looked at Toronto and we're like, this is a shining example. Look at what they're doing. They draft Kiki Rice 6 overall. She's a pro's pro, yada, yada, yada. She hung out in the Obama administration White House because of her aunt, UCLA national title champion. But I also think that while the record may not be what they probably want it to be, it's a professional operation night in and night out. That can't be said for Portland going into the season. Alex Sarama, hired from the back row of the Cleveland Cavaliers bench, 30 years old, the youngest WNBA coach in history. People are like, what the heck are the Fire doing? Then they go out, they select my friends Bridget Carlton and Megan Gustafson, or rather give them both max contracts. Megan as a free agent, the former Iowa product and National Player of the Year. Bridget Carlton, the former Iowa State Cyclone. They get our friend Sarah Ashley Barker out of Alabama. They select her from the expansion draft, and you're like, what the heck are they doing? Who are all these pieces? They're bringing in all these European players, which is hilarious because it's similar to what the Golden State Valkyries and Natalie Nakase did last year. We laughed at them too and said, oh, they're going to finish at the bottom of the league. And what they do, they made the postseason in year one. I am not sure that Portland has the firepower to make the postseason in year one, but you're going to get 110% in a competitive night in, night out from them. And we've seen that with some of the top title contenders, from the New York Liberty to the Indiana Fever, going to the Pacific Northwest. It's a hostile environment. And those gals not only just lay it all out on the line. I am fascinated by Sarama, the roster construction, defense as a geometry exercise. It's really something that I want to study more in the offseason in hindsight, just because I do think he is bringing innovative ideas to the WNBA. And of course, he previously coached the London Lions. So he, unlike some other coaches who were hired this cycle, did have experience coaching women's basketball before.
Now, as we get to thinking about, what's been going on going forward, I've been stuck on a couple things. So we got a chance to talk to you right around the time the draft was happening. And the names were out there, AZ Fudd, our farm, Lauren Betts. I really don't think we zeroed in, literally goggles. I don't think we put them on Olivia Miles close enough. But for some reason, the translation of her game has not even affected her personality, but I think it's really just kind of leaked in and around the Minnesota Lynx franchise. And I'm one of those guys. I'm watching how on the sideline everybody's reacting. I love them doing the electric slide when they win games. I love her comments when she kind of has to hold herself back and not say, yeah, that's me, I'm that good. What are we seeing right now from the number 2 overall pick in the WNBA draft?
Well, what you're seeing is, number one, in my opinion, not a total surprise, because I think we forget, in lieu of Hannah Hidalgo's ascension at Notre Dame and the beef that may or may not have existed between those two New Jersey natives in Hidalgo and Olivia Miles that eventually led to her transfer to TCU. Whether you believe that or not, we forget that Olivia Miles, prior to her own injury that kept her out of her entire junior campaign, was on a superstar trajectory in college basketball. And much like Paige Beckers, derailed by that injury, and that, of course, simultaneously occurred during the rise of Caitlin Clark. And so we kind of forgot who Olivia Miles was. Mm-hmm. I also think I'd be lying if I didn't tell you she's the beneficiary of yet another ill-timed move by the Chicago Sky, and the fact that she falls to Cheryl Reeve and the Minnesota Lynx with the number 2 overall pick. that's the reality, right? And I have friends texting me every day who are Caitlyn stans, and they're like, oh my gosh, I look at what Olivia Miles is doing and I want that for Caitlyn. And the problem is that Caitlyn doesn't have Cheryl Reeve as her coach. And Caitlyn doesn't have a system like what Cheryl is deploying. And I think Corey Close, the head coach of UCLA, did a terrific job on ESPN Plus's women's sports show earlier this month, in which she broke it down. She was like, look, Olivia Miles isn't that great of a defender. She's a good defender. She's not this elite defender. But because of the way that Cheryl Reeve is able to bring help side defense for her, because of the load that is lifted off of Courtney Williams, Olivia Miles in that backcourt, and it's instead put on the front court players and those wing players that Cheryl somehow finds one each and every year that she can pay $500,000 and they're going to perform at all WNBA level. Because she's able to construct that system, and additionally, she is allowing Olivia Miles to play freely. You are seeing the player we saw in her freshman campaign at Notre Dame, but she's also on a championship roster with a championship level coach. And that is a beautiful combination. It's very exciting to see, because she has always been, since her days at Phillipsburg High School in New Jersey, she has always been an electric player. And I think that the combination of what she experienced in TCU, where she became more of a facilitator, Notre Dame, you go back to her roots where she was more of a scorer, getting past the Hannah Hidalgo of it all, because I do think Courtney Williams is very much okay with answering to the rookie, and Courtney wants to play more off the ball. So I think it benefits both parties. I am fascinated to see what happens when Nafisa Collier does return from injury, and where long-term the roster build in Minnesota takes its next turn.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, as I was going to kind of second that with saying, just imagine what happens when Nafisa Collier does return. Uncle Scott, I see you down there, man. You said you got something else around it. Throw it. Go ahead and wrangle that in there, man.
You mentioned it, Mia. The Dallas Wings. They've been one of the surprise teams, even though in my mind they're not a surprise. Now, I'm a UConn fan, so Paige Beckers and Azzi Fudd are phenomenal. Where is the improvement in this team come from? And again, as you mentioned, they're a title contender. But the improvement on their team, where does it come from?
I'll give you guys a hometown answer. It's kind of like the Jags with Liam Cohen and Tony Baselli and James Gladstone, and what was preached last year in Duval, which was you just needed a slight temperature change, and you needed it from the top. You needed someone in Jose Fernandez to walk in that door, and for lack of a better term, with all due respect to Chris Koklanis, who's probably hanging out on a beach somewhere in California right now, you needed an adult in the room who was going to hold these players accountable and truly, maybe put the media a little bit on their heels, because he is not going to just be everybody's friend. He is trying to win a championship, just like he did at South Florida. And I think in terms of roster construction, it is kind of similar to the Jags of 2022 in that they had a lot of cash to spend, and they recognized, hey, we are in the window with Paige and AZ not on max contracts right now. And so we need to go out and we need to bring in as many veteran post players who are pros that we can, to not only show those two the way, but also ease the load off of them. Jess Shepard, of course, a revelation for many. For me, it's fascinating. I watched her when she was at Nebraska going up against Iowa. If you really want to go down a rabbit hole, look up what Jess Shepard's height, weight, body type looked like as a back to the basket post-up center at Nebraska, what she became at Notre Dame, and what she is now in the W. Part of that was the injuries that knocked her out for a whole season, and she had time to adjust and change her body. It's just one of the more fascinating, underrated stories in women's basketball and women's sports, in my opinion, over the last 10 years, because she is not only going to win most improved player, she's going to get all WNBA votes. And what's wild is they paid Alana Smith more money, but Jose, because he's an adult, said, okay, Alana's not giving me what I want. I'm going to play more Jess Shepard. And that's something that I think, regardless of what sport we're talking about, so often we follow the money and say, well, we gave X player this much, so we have to play them. No. If that's not where you and your team can be at their best, then you don't have to play that player. And so I just think Jose Fernandez has done a masterful job and has really taken the load off of those two Huskies.
Yeah.
And literally the words came right out of my mouth, because I think somewhere in there, like you said, the idea of implementing just a little bit of toughness from the coaching standpoint changes like the dynamic of a locker room in many occasions. And I think, you know what I'm saying, as you reference the Jags, we're seeing it in year two more so we will see it more so in year two. So of course, when you talk about the Jags, everybody gets excited. So we gotta put that in there. Now, of course, we brought you in for the segment where we do the special delivery. And for me, the idea is Bobby kind of brought it up a little bit earlier where, the Las Vegas Aces are there. Once again, Asia Wilson still at the top of her game. Shoes on fire. Can't even lie. Shoes on fire. Is there someone that can deliver a blow to the championship dynasty that will be the Las Vegas Aces this year? Because right now, if I'm not mistaken, so we got Lynx, Dream, Aces, Liberty, Wings, Indiana Fever, Valkyrie, and the Mystics right there if the playoffs were to start today. So who could deliver something unsuspected from this group?
First, stop trying to hit on my team.
Hey, bro.
The answer should be Caitlin Clark. That should be the answer. I don't think it's the answer, and it breaks my heart. And there's a variety of reasons that it's probably not Caitlin Clark, from the lack of freedom of movement to whether or not they're trying to fit a circle peg in a square hole out there in Indiana because they're so fixated on trying to resolve the defense, but in doing so, they're giving up something on the offensive end. I won't even go down that diatribe, but I would say the New York Liberty are your dark horse because I know I gave you guys my top four, which is the current top four standings. I think it accurately is reflected in the current standings in the WNBA, but I mean, the New York Liberty are the ultimate wild card because Sabrina Ionescu missing the first month of the season with that foot injury she suffered in the final preseason game has not been the same player until probably this week. If you go to Her Hoop Stats or Synergy or any of those analytical websites, like, people in the stat world be loving Chris DeMarco, the first-year head coach for the New York Liberty, the longtime Warriors assistant. I personally haven't seen it, but the stats tell me that I should. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, for me, I do go back to, of course, because all roads lead back to Caitlin Clark. I do go back to when the Liberty and the Fever played in the preseason, and Caitlin was checking in with Jonquel Jones on the other side, and she just looks at Jonquel. She goes, "You guys are so massive. Like, this is a Death Star lineup of that big four," and that was without Leonie Fibach available for that game because she was still playing overseas. She's one of the biggest point guards you're going to find, or off guards, I should say, you're going to find in the WNBA. And Sabrina is certainly got a larger frame. I wouldn't say she's one of the biggest point guards in the W, but Brianna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Maureen Johannes is making it rain like there's no tomorrow. And that is without going down the list of players off the bench that they have somehow been able to find and bring into this ecosystem. Like, I'm thinking Pauline Astier, the European contributor who no one saw coming, who has really taken on that point guard responsibility with Sabrina still working her way back from injury. And so, yeah, the Liberty are the answer in terms of a dark horse. And it's because they have the championship pedigree, even if their coach does not. And evidently, whatever new juices he's bringing, I'm not seeing it with my own two eyes, but the stats are telling me it could pay off long term.
For sure. And I'm Bobby, I'm sorry, just like she said, that lineup, man. when they get it together, okay, me and you may have to talk a little bit about what's going to happen with the Aces in the long run.
Yeah, they got us the other day, so right now they got the leg up.
Listen, it's a lot. It's a lot to be done left in this WNBA season. But Mia, once again, you joined us. You brought the funk like we asked you to. Because of course, when we do special delivery, you better bring it, and you did. So we appreciate it. Of course, before we get to the next commercial break, do us a big favor. Tell us where we can find you and soak up some more of this WNBA and just women's sports knowledge.
Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't lead with this, boys. Did you know that the Upshot League, which recently, of course, began play in its inaugural season, I can now say this because initially it was kind of weird. We didn't want to say it, but now I think it's okay to say it. This is going to be the G League of the WNBA. So if you've been wondering, what is this professional basketball team in Jacksonville? Is this a gimmick? Why is it being headquartered in Jacksonville? No, this is what it is. It's the G League of the W. It starts with 4 teams, the Waves of Jacksonville, Charlotte, Greensboro, and then Savannah, and it expands to Nashville and Baltimore next season. Go out, support the team here in Jacksonville locally. The headquarters are here in Jacksonville. Shout out to Zoyer Sports. Shout out to, of course, the former president of the WNBA, longtime Jacksonville resident, Donna Orender, who is the commissioner of the Upshot League. I guess she's my boss, kind of. We're friends. She's my mentor. She's my mentor. We'll say that. They do also cut some checks for me, which is nice. But I do want to make sure we stress Jacksonville, home tomorrow, 7 p.m. against Charlotte, first, second place team in the league. And then again, Saturday, 4 p.m. And I will be on the call for those games. All games you can watch at the Upshot League YouTube channel. And if there's two games going on simultaneously, the other game is at the home team's YouTube channel, so at Jack's Waves Upshot on YouTube. And then in addition to calling those games, you can check out the Women's Basketball Podcast, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast, powered by OG Triangle Media with myself and Mitch Northam of USA Today. And other than that, I will be back, ESPN Radio, regular schedule coming up in July. And we will be talking lots of W over there. Oh, and I probably should mention, since Whit's hanging out there right now, we do also host the Coaches Show for Upshot League, Mondays, Action News Jacks, 2 p.m., live streamed on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Well, look, the idea is now that you kind of like hinted at that unity between you and the Upshot, we got to get you and Coach Jess on here, because Jess was live.
Dude, I was just texting Jess. Jess will come on whenever you need her to.
Yeah, no, I can't lie. She got on here and we had a ball that show. Hey, look, Mia, once again, thank you so much for joining us. We actually, right about now, Brian giving me the signal. I might as well say it, 904-362-9901. I got 4 tickets for this weekend's game to go see the Jacksonville Waves at home and probably bump into Miss O'Brien on the sideline. You never know. Then, of course, you get a haircut from Unique Trends and Styles. Once again, that number is 904-362-9901. Brian, play something funky. Me, once again, thank you, guys. What an awesome show we're having. It's the Rec Room Sports Radio Show right here on ESPN 690. Let's do it.
Yeah, man, if y'all ever want to come through, come check out the shop, Unique Trends and Styles. We got a lot of stuff to do. Game room. Come check out the great barbers we have in here. Anybody could cut you up. Fresh cuts every day, clean cuts. Consistency is the key, and we always got you. Thank you.
Haha, that's right. Big shouts out to Miss Mia O'Brien for locking in with us doing the special delivery segment. Oh my God. It is ladies' night and the feeling is right. I don't know if y'all ever been to ladies' night on a Thursday night, but let me tell you something. It's a fun time, okay? And we will be sending someone to that game. I got to get the information for my guy, my producer, Brian Middleton over there. Man, I'm telling you guys, today's show was a show. I am so glad we got to have Mia back in the building. I can't wait to talk more, W with her. And, of course, more info about Upshot as we move forward into their inaugural season as well. Boys, real quick, it's wild, but no supplemental draft. Brian Sorsby just gets to go train for 8 months?
There goes my dream. My NFL dream's all done. Can't. Don't know what to do. No, he's going to be where he ranks among the quarterbacks that are coming out next year. He's middle of the pack, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy's not going to play football for a year and 2 years almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of time to take off before you take a snap in the NFL. So I don't know how successful this guy's going to be.
Yeah, hey, look, you can take all the 7-on-7 snaps you want, but until them boys run at you full speed, you won't know nothing. Once again, man, big shouts out to Bobby G for the birthday. Bobby G, you want to close it out for us, man? Hey, Brian, hit the music.
Sweet and simple, man. The FIFA World Cup is in full swing. Yes, we are the host country. So to everybody who is in a city who's hosting a game, hey, this is your time to shine for your country. And if not for your country, shine for your city and your state, man. Remember, we're representations of us all. If you go to other countries I've visited, has always been love, has always been appreciation, regardless of all the things you may hear about foreigners and American citizens. But don't let that get in your head. Hey, let's show our friends from visiting from abroad a good time and show them what the U.S. is really about. That's that.
Scotland, bring some beer back to Boston, would you please? We need some beer in Boston.
Oh yeah,
drink us out of it.
And
I was going to say,
big
Scott,
shouts out to
they also transported Norman.
Oh,
so
go ahead, Alan.
I was going to say they also transported it to Norman late last night, so I'm sorry.
Oh, wow. Big shouts out to the block out there at Jax. I went by yesterday, and they had a bunch of people out there for the Brazil game, watching it live, getting food, having drinks. So, yes, out here in Jacksonville, we are taking part in the World Cup as a fan base. And, of course, big shouts out to everybody who got a chance to listen. Our winners today, and Brian Middleton, our producer. This one is for my Uncle Claude, who passed away the other day. He said he was proud of me, and he said he loves the show. So big shouts out to you, Uncle Claude. Real talk, this is what we do, man. It's RecRoomSports Radio Show. We'll be back next week. Brian, let's get out of here.
Peace.
See ya.